For most people, life is just beginning. Dreams still waiting. Success still uncertain. But one man finished what millions never will. Before turning 33 years, he crushed the greatest empire on earth. He changed history. Then he died at the age of 32. Most men need a lifetime to leave their mark. He needed only 32 years to become immortal. Thousands wore crowns. Thousands commanded armies. Thousands were forgotten. But one name refused to die. Alexander the Great. Greatness doesn't begin on a battlefield. It begins inside the mind. Born in 356 BC in Macedonia, Alexander wasn't raised to live an ordinary life. His father, King Philip II, built the most feared army in Greece. His mother, Olympias, filled his mind with one belief: you were born for greatness. Then came the horse no man could control. Bucephalus. Warriors failed. Generals failed. The crowd laughed. Alexander didn't. He saw what nobody else could see. The horse wasn't wild. It was afraid. He turned it toward the sun. The fear disappeared. Minutes later, he rode the impossible. His father looked into his eyes and said, "Find a kingdom worthy of yourself." History heard those words. Then everything burned. Philip was assassinated. Alexander was only 20 years old. His enemies celebrated. This boy will never survive. Alexander answered without words. He moved fast. Every rebellion destroyed. Every enemy silenced. The crown was no longer his father's. It was his destiny. Then he looked east toward the Persian Empire. The richest, the strongest, the greatest empire alive. Everyone called it madness. Alexander called it the beginning. History belongs to those who move first. Battle of Granicus, victory. Battle of Issus, victory. Every battle made the impossible look easy. Then came Battle of Gaugamela. One battle, one empire, one chance. Alexander stood before an army that dwarfed his own. Most men would wait. Most kings would hesitate. Alexander charged. Straight through the center. Straight toward King Darius. The Persian king turned. Ran. In that moment, an empire began to collapse. The impossible was no longer impossible. It had a new name. Alexander. Still, he wasn't satisfied. Egypt conquered. Alexandria founded. Deserts crossed. Mountains climbed. Then the mighty Indus, northwestern India. There stood King Porus, a king who refused to kneel. War elephants, thunder, steel, blood. The hardest battle of Alexander's life. He won, but victory has a price. Years of endless war had broken his army. For the first time, they said, no. Not to fear, not to an enemy, but to another war. The man who conquered the world could not conquer the hearts of exhausted soldiers. So he turned back, not defeated, but in respect for the men who had fought every impossible battle by his side. Every legend meets one enemy that cannot be conquered: death. Then, in Babylon, in 323 BC, everything changed. A sudden illness. Days later, silence. No battlefield, no army, no victory. Only a king taking his final breath at the age of 32 years. Some people live for 80 years and leave nothing. Alexander lived only 32. He built one of history's greatest empires, founded cities that still stand, changed cultures, inspired emperors, inspired conquerors, inspired dreamers. For more than 2,300 years, history doesn't remember those who lived the longest. History remembers those who dared to dream beyond the impossible. Your life is not measured by time. It is measured by the impact you create. And that is why the world still remembers Alexander the Great.